I'm sorry I've been gone for a few days. I was under the weather, so I didn't cover SmackDown or AAA this weekend, but I am back and I watched Monday Night Raw. It started off with Brock Lesnar coming out to the ring with Paul Heyman, basically saying a bunch of stuff about Oba. They had the Dallas PD with him because they have a restraining order on Oba. Oba came out, he had none of it. He destroyed the Dallas PD, tossed a few of them over the top rope. And then basically he said the same thing he said last week, which is Brock Lesnar just keeps running away. And it's kind of true at this point. I'm kind of hoping to see Oba win this one and make it 2-1. However, I'm really enjoying Brock Lesnar around lately. It's been fun to watch. So, anyways, I think Hell in a Cell is going to be a great match at SummerSlam. The first match of the night saw Io take on Roxanne Perez. Io was able to fend off the Judgment Day and win the match. However, after the match, the Judgment Day tried to attack her. Sol Ruca came out to try and even the odds. However, Io and Sol Ruca did get destroyed by the Judgment Day. The Vision then came out to basically talk about how they're great and they have Maxine with them now. However, Alpha Academy came out and basically wanted to have a moment with Maxine and see why she did what she did. Turned into the Vision destroying both Tozawa and Otis. I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit more of this play out in the next couple of weeks. I've said this for a while now. I have nothing against the members of the Vision. I think Braun Breaker is going to be a big star. However, I think the Vision's done. Even later in the evening, Paul Heyman basically said, "You guys don't even need me anymore. You guys have Maxine," trying to say that like she's going to replace him basically. So I think he's done with them. I still think we're going to see Braun Breaker turn on them eventually. Maybe when Bronson Reed returns. We then had this like weird match. It cut to commercials, came back, and we were like in the middle of a match, which was Royce Keys versus Jimmy Uso. It makes sense because it's a continuation of what happened on SmackDown. The match did end in disqualification because Jacob Fatu got involved. Then we saw Solo come out and basically tell Jacob, like, stop beating up on Royce Keys. I will join the family. However, that was a ruse. He ended up spiking Jimmy. Then Jacob didn't like that. So he started attacking Solo. LA Knight came out and evened the odds. And then basically as the Bloodline was retreating, LA Knight said, "You guys go grab Jay." And now we have Jimmy, Jay, Jacob versus LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo at SummerSlam. I still have a weird feeling that Solo's going to turn on them and join the Bloodline anyways at some point. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria basically had a promo in the ring. Lyra said that, Bayley made her who she is and it's all her fault. And that's set up a match at Saturday night's main event between Bayley and Lyra. We also got a tease of a WWE return. It looks like Big Cass is returning on August 3rd. Enzo was not teased. What do we got over here? Cup of haters? The gauntlet match for the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender was actually a great match. It started off with Dominic Mysterio versus Joe Hendry. Dominic did win because JD McDonough was at ringside. Then Javon Evans came out and he was able to win it because Danhausen came out to basically even the odds. Then that turned into my favorite one, which was Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee. That match was incredible. That was probably the highlight one for me. However, Javon did win that one too. So then Rusev came out. They made Javon look pretty strong against Rusev. I will say that. A little too strong in my opinion. I love Javon, but just like, it's Rusev, guys. Calm down. And then, anyways, Rusev won. Chad Gable came out. And Chad Gable was able to get the victory over Rusev. However, he ended up getting him in the crush after. Then Ethan Page came out and Chad Gable was still able to get it done. So we are going to see Chad Gable versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. And the last thing that happened was the signing of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship contract for SummerSlam between Seth frickin' Rollins and our tribal chief, the OTC Roman Reigns. It was basically the same usual stuff, Seth Rollins saying Roman's not around. Roman basically saying, Seth, you're an injured champion. You can never hold it in, or you have to cash in a Money in the Bank to win it, that kind of thing. That did turn into a bit of a brawl. We saw Seth Rollins come back in, beat up Roman. It looked like he was going to go for the curb stomp and he missed. Then we saw Roman Reigns hit a Superman punch and it looked like he was going to get the power bomb through the table. But Seth Rollins had a mic with him, so he hit him on top of the head. And then as he went down, got pedigreed that time again, and then got hit with the curb stomp. So that's how Monday Night Raw ended. Let me know what you thought, and I will catch you guys for some more wrestling very, very soon. I am sad that I'm going to be missing SummerSlam though. Guys, for those of you that didn't know, I will be missing it. I'm still going to cover it, just not this type of coverage. I'm going to be in Disney World. So we're going to talk about it while I'm over there. So expect just straight up vintage face cams. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to do selfies as I'm watching it from my phone. So anyways, that's it. That's it for me. Make sure you follow along for some more wrestling news and content.